Ever pondered where criminals stash their dirty money? Welcome to the hidden world of ill-gotten gains, a landscape filled with intrigue, subterfuge, and billions of dollars shuffled around in the shadows. Money laundering, the process by which criminals disguise the original ownership and control of the proceeds of their criminal conduct, is a global issue of staggering proportions. It's not just a matter of a few briefcases filled with cash. We're talking about an annual flow of funds estimated to be in the region of 2 to 5% of global GDP. That's somewhere between $1 and $2 trillion every single year. Yet for many people, the concept of money laundering remains shrouded in mystery. It's a term often thrown around in crime dramas and news reports, but what does it really mean? At its core, money laundering is a three-step process: placement, layering, and integration. Placement refers to the act of introducing the illicit money into the financial system. Layering is the complex process of obscuring the source of the money through a series of transactions and bookkeeping tricks. And finally, integration, where the clean money is returned to the criminal from what seem to be legitimate sources. The art of money laundering, a method as old as crime itself. It's a craft perfected by those who seek to make their ill-gotten gains appear legitimate. A fascinating example of this is the infamous case of Zhenli Yegon, a Chinese-Mexican businessman who was found with over $205 million stashed away in his Mexico City mansion. This wasn't just a case of hiding money under the mattress, though. It was a sophisticated display of the three-stage process that is money laundering: placement, layering, and integration. Let's break it down. First up, placement. This is where the dirty money enters the financial system. In Yegon's case, his ill-gotten gains were derived from the illegal drug trade. The money was physically deposited into banks or used to purchase assets. Next, we have layering. This is where things get complicated. It involves creating complex layers of financial transactions to confuse the paper trail. For Yegon, this involved moving his funds around through various accounts, using wire transfers, and purchasing assets in other people's names. The final stage is integration. Here, the laundered money is brought back into the legitimate economy, often appearing as normal business earnings. Yegon bought businesses and properties, making his dirty money seem clean. But here's the catch. Despite the complexity of his operations, Yegon was eventually caught. His mansion, filled with stacks of dollars, became a symbol of one of the largest cases of money laundering in history. This goes to show that while the art of money laundering can be complex and intricate, it's not foolproof. With advancements in technology and financial regulations, the net is tightening around those who use these methods to hide their illicit gains. But money laundering isn't the only trick in the book. There are other ways that criminals attempt to hide their ill-gotten gains, and we'll delve into those in the next part of our discussion after you subscribe and leave a comment on this video. Offshore accounts and shell companies, the playground of the criminal elite. The Panama Papers, an unprecedented leak of over 11 million confidential documents from the Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, lifted the veil on the shady world of offshore banking and shell companies. These documents revealed how the rich and powerful, including criminals, exploit these financial tools to hide their ill-gotten gains. So, what exactly are offshore accounts and shell companies? Let's break it down. An offshore account refers to a bank account registered in a country other than where the account holder resides, often in a tax haven. These accounts offer privacy, minimal regulation, and in many cases, tax advantages. A shell company, on the other hand, is a business that exists only on paper and has no office and no employees. Its primary purpose is to manage the financial transactions of another entity, providing a layer of anonymity for the true owners. Together, offshore accounts and shell companies create a powerful mechanism for concealing money trails. Here's a simplified scenario based on the Panama Papers revelations. Let's say a criminal wants to hide $1 million. They set up a shell company, let's call it Shady Inc., in a tax haven like Panama. Now, Shady Inc. opens an offshore account in the same location. The criminal then deposits the money into this account. On the surface, it's just a company doing business, but in reality, Shady Inc. serves no purpose other than to hide the true ownership of the money. The $1 million is now effectively invisible, hidden away from prying eyes. However, it's not all doom and gloom. The Panama Papers leak led to a global outcry for more transparency in offshore banking and the use of shell companies. It sparked a worldwide effort to tighten regulations and crack down on financial crime. Yet some criminals prefer a more tangible assurance, investing in assets, because sometimes cash is too conspicuous. Take a moment to consider the notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Guzman was no stranger to the world of illicit gains, amassing a fortune estimated in the billions. But where did all this money go? Well, Guzman was known for his extensive investments in properties and high-end items. Let's break it down. When a criminal has a large amount of cash, it's not only risky to hold on to, it also raises eyebrows. That's where assets come in. Assets can be anything from luxury cars to high-end real estate to expensive jewelry and even fine art. These are tangible goods, things that can be seen and touched, which can give the impression of legitimacy to wealth that's been acquired through less than legal means. Buying assets with illicit funds serves a dual purpose. Firstly, it allows criminals to enjoy their wealth without drawing too much attention. After all, it's much less suspicious to own a multi-million-dollar mansion or a collection of luxury cars than it is to have a suitcase full of cash. Secondly, these assets can be sold later, turning them back into clean cash. But it's not just about purchasing assets, it's also about managing them. Many criminals hire professionals to manage their assets, further distancing themselves from their illicit gains. This can include real estate managers, art consultants, and even car enthusiasts. These individuals may not always know the true origin of the funds they're managing, further complicating the trail back to the criminal. As we've delved deeper into the world of illicit gains, it's become clear that the strategies employed by criminals are sophisticated and multifaceted. They're not just hiding money under the mattress or in a secret offshore account. They're investing it, spending it, and even hiring professionals to manage it for them. As we have seen, criminals go to great lengths to keep their ill-gotten wealth secret.